Have you ever thought that right in your own backyard or along the roadside, the wild plants that people usually pull out and throw away are actually some of the most powerful medicinal resources nature has given us? These are plants our grandparents once knew by heart, used to heal wounds for soldiers on the battlefield, relieve pain when there were no doctors, and keep people alive through centuries without hospitals or pharmacies. Most of us today rush to the drugstore every time we cough, get a headache, or scrape our skin, while all around us grow wild, free plants that have treated human illness for thousands of years. And more importantly, many of these plants now have modern scientific evidence proving their real effectiveness, and some are even the original sources of certain pharmaceutical drugs used today. This article is not meant to replace modern medicine. It is also not a call to reject medications. It does only one thing: introduce you to 10 forgotten medicinal plants, true treasures growing right under our feet. They can stop bleeding instantly, relieve pain faster than aspirin, reduce inflammation, fight bacteria, and even help combat antibiotic-resistant microbes. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because every week I'll bring you knowledge that helps you save money, take care of your health naturally, and regain control over your own body. Now let's begin. These are the 10 forgotten medicinal plants that will change the way you see nature forever. At number 10, we start with lemon balm, scientific name, Melissa officinalis. This is a plant in the mint family, easy to grow in backyards, home gardens, and even along cool, damp roadsides. A species often mistakenly classified as a simple relaxation tea. But in the history of European traditional medicine, it was once considered a nerve-regulating remedy. Lemon balm has been used for more than 2,000 years in traditional medicine. From ancient Greek and Roman times, Theophrastus mentioned it around 300 BCE, and Dioscorides recorded it in De Materia Medica in the 1st century CE. It was used to treat animal bites, calm the nerves, and support digestion. In medieval Europe, it was a key ingredient in Carmelite water, a famous herbal preparation used to reduce stress, improve mood, and treat digestive disorders. During the Tudor period, people even scattered its leaves on floors to create fragrance and repel insects. Today, modern science has confirmed many of lemon balm's benefits thanks to its main compounds such as rosmarinic acid, citral flavonoids, and essential oils. Lemon balm affects mechanisms related to stress and anxiety, and it has been shown to support sleep and calm the nervous system without causing dependence. This is also why lemon balm was historically used for both children and the elderly, groups not suitable for strong sedative drugs. Traditional use of lemon balm is very simple. The leaves are dried and brewed as a tea to drink in the evening or during stressful times. Or fresh leaves are crushed and applied externally for cold sores or insect bites. Safe for most people, lemon balm is clear proof that the weeds around us are not only free, but often more powerful than many things we buy at the pharmacy. It closes our list of 10 plants in a fitting way. A gentle yet effective remedy that helps you stay calm, sleep well, and be healthier every day. At number 9 is chamomile, scientific name, Matricaria chamomilla. For many people today, chamomile is just a tea drunk before bedtime. But in the history of European medicine, it was used as a whole-body calming remedy, not only for sleep, but also for the digestive system and the nervous system. Chamomile is a low-growing plant with small white flowers and yellow centers, a gentle, slightly sweet aroma. It grows wild in meadows, along roadsides, and was once commonly cultivated in household medicinal gardens. Chamomile is one of the oldest medicinal plants ever recorded, with a history of use spanning more than 5,000 years. In ancient Egypt, the chamomile flower was revered as a symbol of the sun god Ra, used to treat fever, make cosmetics, and for embalming. Ancient Greeks and Romans called it chamaemelon because of its apple-like scent. Hippocrates recommended it for treating fever and gynecological disorders, and Dioscorides documented it in classical medical texts for treating inflammation, spasms, and wounds. Chamomile is rich in powerful compounds such as apigenin, the main flavonoid, bisabolol, chamazoline, and essential oils. Clinical trials show that chamomile extracts significantly reduce symptoms of moderate to severe generalized anxiety disorder, with clear improvement after 8 weeks of use. When the digestive system spasms due to stress, chamomile helps relax smooth muscle. When sleep is disrupted by mild anxiety, it helps the body naturally transition into a resting state. The simplest way to use it: brew tea using 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried or fresh flowers steeped in boiling water for 5 to 10 minutes. Drink after meals or before bedtime to relax. Because of its safety and gentle action, chamomile was traditionally used for children, the elderly, and recovering patients, groups that cannot tolerate strong medications. At number 8 is comfrey, scientific name, Symphytum officinale, one of the most controversial plants in the history of herbal medicine. This is a perennial herbaceous plant with large hairy leaves and small purple or yellow flowers, growing wild in moist areas, along riverbanks, abandoned gardens, or cultivated for medicinal use. When crushed, the leaves and roots form a thick, cool paste that was once applied directly to injured areas. For centuries in Europe, comfrey was known by a very straightforward name: knit bone, the bone-knitting plant. Even soldiers on the battlefield used it to stop bleeding and treat wounds. In a time without x-rays and without physical therapy, that level of effectiveness was enough to make comfrey an indispensable medicinal plant. Comfrey contains powerful compounds such as allantoin, a compound that stimulates cell proliferation and tissue regeneration. Rosmarinic acid helps with anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Tannins and saponins, providing clear clinical evidence for topical use. When comfrey is applied, swelling decreases quickly, pain subsides, and injured tissue recovers faster than usual. The problem lies here. Comfrey contains pyrrolizidine alkaloids. If used incorrectly, especially when taken orally, comfrey can cause serious liver damage, hepatic vein obstruction, and even liver cancer at high doses over long periods. This is why modern medicine strictly limits the use of comfrey. It should only be used externally, and only for short periods on soft tissue areas, not on deep open wounds, and not for prolonged use. The safest traditional method is leaves or roots are dried, rehydrated, and applied externally as a poultice, or extracted into a topical salve. When used correctly, the effects are often quite clear. Pain is reduced, movement becomes easier, and recovery time is shortened. That is why comfrey ranks at number 8 on this list. Not because it is weak, not because plants like this disappeared, but because we gradually stopped seeing them as medicine and stopped learning how to use them properly. At number 7 is calendula, scientific name Calendula officinalis, also known as pot marigold, a bright flower that has long carried a reputation as a natural dermatological remedy. While many medicinal plants impressed with strong and fast effects, calendula earns its credibility through consistency, safety, and clean, reliable healing ability. This is a vivid yellow-orange flower with layered petals, growing as a low bush, easy to cultivate in gardens, backyards, pots, or even growing wild in moist soil. Many people see it only as an ornamental plant, but in fact it is the queen of skin healing, recognized by both traditional European medicine and modern medicine. Calendula has a history of use spanning thousands of years. From ancient Greek-Roman times, Dioscorides documented its use for wounds and skin inflammation. Through the Middle Ages, used in monastery gardens to treat burns, cuts, and skin ulcers, to the American Civil War era, soldiers used the flowers to stop bleeding and treat wounds. People in the past observed that when calendula was used, wounds became less infected, less swollen, and healed cleanly without prolonged inflammation. Modern science has confirmed that calendula is rich in powerful compounds such as flavonoids, triterpenoids, carotenoids, essential oils, and phenolic acids. These compounds have anti-inflammatory effects, mild antimicrobial activity, and support tissue regeneration. Instead of overstimulating the skin, calendula creates a favorable environment for the skin to repair itself. This is why it is especially suitable for sensitive skin, children, and areas prone to irritation. It is no coincidence that calendula appears in many medical skincare products, from topical creams to solutions supporting recovery after minor surgery. Traditional use of calendula is very practical. The flowers are dried and infused in oil to make a salve or ointment applied externally, or fresh flowers are crushed and applied directly to the skin for 20 to 30 minutes. Calendula is forgotten not because it is ineffective, but because modern dermatology prioritizes fast-acting chemical creams, rather than waiting for natural flowers to work slowly, but safely and sustainably. At number 6 is plantain, scientific name, Plantago major or Plantago lanceolata. This is the most familiar wild herb growing everywhere, along roadsides, in backyards, parks, vacant lots, even in cracks in concrete. Many people consider it a weed that should be pulled out, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful emergency first aid remedies that nature provides. From ancient Greek-Roman times, Dioscorides and Pliny documented its use for wounds, insect bites, and skin inflammation. Through medieval Europe, one of the Saxon 9 sacred herbs used as a battlefield poultice. What makes plantain special is speed. When the leaf is crushed and applied to the skin, the stinging sensation decreases quickly, swelling subsides, and the wound is protected. In situations without clean water or bandages, plantain does not just soothe, it helps keep wounds from progressing to infection. Plantain contains allantoin, a compound that supports tissue regeneration, promotes very rapid wound healing, hemostatic properties that help stop bleeding and reduce swelling immediately. Aucubin and polysaccharides inhibit microbes, providing antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal effects, and it also helps soothe the throat, reduce cough, and loosen mucus. Traditional use of plantain is almost unbelievably simple. Just pick a roadside leaf, crush it, and apply it to a cut. Many people have used this method to stop bleeding instantly without a bandage. At home, the leaves can be dried and infused in oil to make a salve for later use. Or dried or fresh leaves can be boiled in water and taken as 1 to 2 cups per day for cough, digestion, and as a diuretic. No complex dosing, no elaborate preparation. A plant that grows everywhere, anyone can pick it. And that is exactly why it has been forgotten. Because it cannot become an exclusive product, it cannot be sold. Number 5 on our list of 10 forgotten medicinal plants is nettle, scientific name Urtica dioica, a plant that most people remember only for the sharp stinging sensation when they touch it. That instinctive avoidance has long obscured nettle's true role in history. Nettle is a tall, herbaceous plant with serrated leaves, covered in tiny hairs containing formic acid and histamine, the substances that cause the immediate stinging feeling. But the paradox is this: what causes pain is also a sign of strong biological activity. When processed correctly, nettle completely loses its stinging ability and becomes a powerful source of nutrients and a natural anti-inflammatory remedy. In European history, nettle was not only a medicine, but also a survival food. It was harvested in early spring, the time when the human body was most deficient in vitamins and minerals after a long winter. Traditionally, nettle was used for arthritis, muscle pain, seasonal allergies, chronic fatigue, anemia, general weakness, and chronic inflammation. Unlike plantain or yarrow, nettle does not address an emergency situation. It does something different and more persistent. It resets the body's physiological baseline. Nettle is rich in iron, calcium, magnesium, vitamin C and K, and many anti-inflammatory compounds. When used regularly, it helps reduce underlying inflammatory responses, improve circulation, and support organ systems to function more efficiently. Nettle does not act immediately, but its effects become very clear over time. This is the type of effect people in the past called tonifying. It does not make you feel different in 1 hour, but it makes you healthier over many weeks. But in a medical system accustomed to instant painkillers that are easy to mass produce and easy to standardize doses, nettle, despite being effective, is difficult to standardize because it varies by season and location, requires manual processing, harvesting, drying, infusing, and has an initial side effect, such as stinging when touched. As a result, it was replaced by convenient pills and gradually removed from formal medical education. Traditional use of nettle clearly reflects this role. Young leaves are cooked, dried to make tea, or used as a vegetable. When processed by heat or drying, the stinging hairs are completely neutralized. Nettle then becomes a tea with a deep green flavor. Have you ever been stung by nettles while gardening? Comment, yes, if you have ever tried brewing nettle tea to support blood health. Next at number 4 is a tall plant with thick, fuzzy leaves and an upright yellow flower spike growing densely, often seen as a weed that people want to pull out. But in reality, this is mullein, the best friend of the lungs, used to treat coughs, bronchitis, asthma, and to help the lungs breathe clean without relying on cough syrups or antibiotics. Dioscorides recorded more than 2,000 years ago that soldiers and civilians used mullein to treat respiratory conditions, make torches, dried leaves used as candle wicks, and even ward off evil spirits. Before industrial pharmaceuticals dominated, every household knew this plant. Your grandmother or mother may have used mullein leaf tea to treat persistent coughs for the whole family. Mullein leaves contain compounds that act as expectorants, soothe the respiratory mucosa, and reduce mild inflammation. When brewed as a tea, mullein does not stop coughing immediately. Instead, it helps thin mucus, makes it easier to expel, and reduces the heavy feeling in the chest. However, mullein leaves are covered with fine hairs, and if not filtered carefully, they can irritate the throat. That is why traditional mullein tea is always strained through cloth or a paper filter, slowly without rushing. This is a medicinal plant that requires patience. When synthetic cough medicines appeared, people chose to suppress symptoms rather than support the body's natural clearing process. Mullein does not give the feeling of instant cough relief, so it was seen as too slow and gradually disappeared from modern medicine. Beyond the leaves, mullein flowers are also infused in oil for ear pain and mild ear infections, a lesser-known traditional remedy. At number 2 is elderberry, a plant that throughout European history almost every household kept in the form of syrup or dried berries hanging in the kitchen. Used at the very first moment, the body sent warning signals: chills, shivering, sore throat, unusual fatigue. From ancient Greek times, Hippocrates, the father of medicine, called the elderberry plant his medicine chest around 400 BCE. Through medieval Europe, used to treat colds, influenza fever, and respiratory inflammation. Many traditional records show that when flu symptoms first appeared and elderberry was used immediately, the illness often became noticeably milder or was significantly shortened. Elderberry is rich in powerful compounds such as anthocyanins that help inhibit influenza viruses from entering cells, reduce flu duration by 3 to 4 days, and lessen severe symptoms. Fever, cough, sore throat, nasal congestion, vitamin C, quercetin, rutin, and various polyphenols. Randomized trials show that elderberry syrup shortens illness duration by 2 to 4 days, compared with placebo, reduces fever more quickly, and decreases the need for additional medications. Traditional use of elderberry is remarkably consistent across cultures. Elderberry syrup taken in small spoonfuls, tea made from dried berries, used continuously for several days, not as a single dose. One important note: elderberry must be cooked. Raw berries and other parts of the plant can cause gastrointestinal discomfort. The reason elderberry is no longer as common as it once was relates to its pharmacological characteristics and modern usage behavior. Today, people often seek treatment only when symptoms have become severe or prolonged, a stage at which elderberry's effectiveness is significantly reduced. This contrasts with its stronger role in prevention or early intervention. The decline in popularity has also been influenced by the dominance of synthetic pharmaceuticals with fast-acting, standardized, and easily accessible effects at later stages. Elderberry stands at number 2 as a forgotten natural immune shield, strongly supported by science for reducing the duration of respiratory illness, and as clear evidence that nature had its own vaccines long before modern pharmaceuticals appeared. If elderberry was what people in the past used to stop illness before it had time to grow, then the plant at number 1 is what they used when pain had already made itself clearly known. The most deserving crown in our list of 10 forgotten medicinal plants: willow bark. Long before humans had a concept of painkillers, long before the word aspirin existed, willow bark was used repeatedly and independently across many different civilizations. Ancient Greeks, Romans, Egyptians, Chinese cultures, and many indigenous tribes of North America. The main component, salicin in willow bark, is metabolized by the body into salicylic acid, the compound that Felix Hoffmann Bayer 1897 later synthesized into aspirin to reduce gastric irritation. However, natural willow bark also contains accompanying compounds, flavonoids, polyphenols that help reduce stomach side effects compared to synthetic aspirin. An advantage that modern science increasingly recognizes, studies show that salicin from willow bark provides pain relief comparable to aspirin, but causes fewer gastric ulcers at therapeutic doses. It acts clearly on headaches, muscle pain, joint pain, fever, inflammation. Are you ready to try a cup of willow bark tea when you have a headache yet? Simply peel it from young branches, dry it, then steep or gently simmer it into a tea. No high doses needed, no need to use it continuously for months. This is a medicinal plant for specific moments when pain and fever truly appear. Willow bark is not only the precursor of aspirin, but also the most vivid proof that nature provided complete balanced solutions, long before humans tried to improve them with chemistry. It stands at the top of the list because it represents the entire journey from ancient knowledge that was forgotten to the dominance of synthetic pharmaceuticals, aspirin, becoming more popular because it is faster, cheaper, and easier to package. And now we have completed the journey through 10 forgotten medicinal plants, from the gentle, calming lemon balm, sleep, relaxing chamomile, bone-mending comfrey, skin-healing calendula, emergency first aid, plantain, blood-nourishing, anti-inflammatory, nettle lung cleansing, malign, immune-supporting elderberry to willow bark. The natural pain relief king at the top of the list. These plants are not just weeds. They are a heritage spanning thousands of years, containing scientifically validated compounds, and once helped our ancestors survive countless seasons of illness without pharmacies. We have forgotten that knowledge in just a few generations because modern pharmaceuticals are more convenient and faster, but they also make us more dependent. Today, I hope you have seen that natural health is not distant. It grows right under our feet. This knowledge is not lost. It is sleeping, waiting for you to wake it up. Start by identifying one plant, picking one leaf, brewing one cup of tea, and feel how your body responds. That is how you reclaim health autonomy, save money, and reconnect with nature the way our grandparents once did so well. If this video has sparked something in you, hit like right now to share it with those who may need it. And subscribe, plus turn on notifications so you don't miss practical recipes, growing methods, or other hidden medicinal plants. I'm really looking forward to next week when I'll share how to make elderberry syrup. Simple, effective, and right at home. Comment right below. Which plant surprised you the most? For example, number 1, willow bark or elderberry. Number 2, which plant will you try harvesting and using first? Or have you already used any plant on this list before I read every comment and truly value your story? Your sharing might inspire thousands of others. Thank you for staying with me until the final second. Step outside, look around your backyard or along the roadside. The best medicine may be waiting right there for you. Nature has never forgotten how to heal. It's just that we need to remember again. See you in the next video. Take care of your natural health.